board's power or authority is really only in the form of making recommendations. I think that there's the possibility of making fairly strong recommendations and building on a lot of work that was done a couple years ago when this 100-page report was put together after the 2009 incidents at Wheeler Hall. So in 2009, when the investigation was done after the incidents at Wheeler Hall, my understanding is that at the time, Judge Wayne Brazil was the chair of the board, and he sort of spent a lot of time and had a staff person who worked with him to comb through all the video footage they could find. And the investigation, so to speak, took place in this sort of more private arena where they didn't, solicit public testimony, but just collected it and looked at the video footage themselves. And so, some of the thinking behind these different phases of the review process was to try to have a much more open, transparent process and make sure that everybody, anybody and everybody who wanted the opportunity to address the board, to provide information, would have the opportunity to do that. So that's kind of the underlying thinking of why the process looks the way it does. The way that Professor Chober has, categorized the scope of the investigation is to understand what happened on that day and understand, in the context of the policies of the campus, or at least should be the policies of the campus, whether what happened overall was within that realm. So not necessarily parsing out which police officers from which departments did what, but again, more generally looking at the police conduct overall, and then who authorized that conduct. So far, the investigation sort of has 3 prongs, just for the sake of explaining how it looks. I would say the first prong is these 2 public hearings, February 13th and 15th. The second prong is a 3rd hearing where law enforcement, as well as student and faculty representatives or advocates, will be able to address the board and give more in-depth testimony, both in the form of more comprehensive video footage and also in terms of oral testimony to supplement and fill in the gaps in that footage. And then the 3rd piece of it is this chain of command, more doing interviews with members of the administration, requesting, I don't know what they're actually going to give us, but requesting emails. There's probably public records requests that we can at least try to do, but to understand who authorized what, and again, by what channels, and to sort of get a better picture of that too.